We used to call politicians like Kamala Harris demagogues. But you see, the media only attack Trump. It's Trump. Kamala Harris wants to be president. She's a Democrat, so they'll never attack her. I want you to listen to Kamala Harris at a Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee hearing today. I guess it was yesterday. We have a nominee to head ICE, Ronald Vitiello. And just listen to her. Cut 13, go.
Are you aware of the perception of many about how the power and the discretion at ICE is being used to enforce the laws? And do you see any parallels?
Now, let's stop there. She wants to know if he sees any parallels with the Ku Klux Klan between ICE and the KKK. You know, idiots like this used to be sort of like part-time professors, if you will. They weren't elected to high positions in government. Idiots like Kamala Harris. But the bluer the state, the dumber the politician. Go ahead.
I do not see any parallels between
I'm talking about perception.
Officers and agents.
I'm talking about perception.
I do not see a parallel between what is constitutionally mandated as it relates to enforcing the law.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
Why don't you stop interrupting him? I mean, she's like the Jim Acosta of the Senate. Why don't you stop interrupting? You're asking him to compare ICE to the Klan, which is a disgusting, disgusting thing to do. These are brave men and women in law enforcement. So people in this country, illegal aliens, including criminals, are inside the interior of the country. They've gotten through the border, or they don't go for their administrative hearings and so forth. It's up to ICE to find them. And she hates these people, Kamala Harris. The Democrat Party hates these people. No. I'm not talking about the criminals who are here illegally. I'm talking about the employees of ICE. These are federal employees. These are sworn law enforcement officers. And they put their lives on the line. So they attack the cops like they always do. Like they always do. Go ahead.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
That puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm very specific about what I'm asking you. Are you aware of a perception that the way that the discretion...
I see no parallel.
I'm not finished.
I see none.
I'm not finished.
Are you aware of a perception that many people think you're a moron? Are you aware of that perception? Because of things like this that you say that are so out of left field? Go ahead.
Finished. Are you aware that there's a perception that ICE is administering its power in a way that is causing fear and intimidation?
Well, of course it's causing fear and intimidation against people who are here illegally. Are you aware, Senator, that the IRS causes fear and intimidation? You aware of that? Are you aware? Huh? Go ahead.
Particularly among immigrants.
You're not very articulate either, by the way, because you know you're going down a road that is fraught with stupidity and danger politically. Go ahead.
Specifically among immigrants coming from Mexico and Central America. Are you aware of that perception?
I do not see a parallel between the power and the authority that ICE has to do its job and the agents and officers who do it professionally and excellently with lots of compassion.
She should be politically, eliminated from any serious political party in terms of the nominee for presidency. And yet, the left-wing kook contingent out there will find this very exciting. The amount of kookery that's going on there, and the effort to outdo one another is why you have these absolutely insane Democrat senators, like this moron Blumenthal from Connecticut, or the moron Cory Booker from New Jersey. Go ahead.
Sir, how can you be the head of an agency and be unaware of how your agency is perceived?
So your agency's perceived by certain communities as akin to the Klan. Will somebody please tell me how this woman rose up in the Democrat Party ranks and became a United States Senator? Were the people she ran against in the Democrat primaries worse than this? I mean, this lady is cuckoo for coconuts. What is it? Dump. She's just cuckoo. Go ahead.
There's a lot of perceptions in the media and in the public that are incorrect about the agency.
But the perception exists. Would you agree?
He already answered the question 28 times. And none of us agree, whoever had screwed on right. No, ICE is not perceived as the Klan. Are you familiar with the Klan? Do you know what the Klan did? Why don't you just call this guy a Hitler? You like to do that on the left. He's Hitler. ICE is the Klan. Everybody who opposes open borders is racist. We believe in white privilege, even though many people who take this position aren't white. Why don't you just say it? And there's no due process for Supreme Court nominees, no expectation of innocence. Just agree with our whole agenda, sir, if you seek to be a confirmed nominee of this administration. Can you imagine that thinking in a Kamala Harris administration? And yet the country might be lost for all I know. Go ahead.
And wouldn't you agree then that if that perception exists, there might need to be some work done?
My perception is you're an idiot. Go ahead.
To correct the perception.
I do want to advocate for the workforce, the vital public safety mission that they have to protect the homeland. And I think more people need to know how valuable they are to the society. So I agree with you on that.
I agree with you on nothing. Nothing. You're a disaster. Problem is, there's so many disasters on that side, it's hard to keep count, quite frankly. One sounds just like the next in their craziness, in their insanity. I'll be right back.